Hey y'all, Grandma Rose here. I just had a surprise just a little while ago. Not a huge, terrible surprise, but a surprise nevertheless. Not a good surprise. I'm on medications. I have a family history of high blood pressure, so I take high blood pressure medicine. And I got ready to refill my prescription. I'm on my last dose. I take my last dose tonight, and I need to refill my prescription tomorrow. Got out the bottles, got ready to call the pharmacy, and I don't have any more refills, which means I have to go to the doctor tomorrow. And that's okay. It's not a big deal. It would be a big deal if I went to a large clinic or something. But I see a nurse practitioner, and they don't require appointments. So if there were a real emergency and I needed to see the doctor, there is a doctor in the clinic that I could see. But for what I'm doing, all I've needed to see is a nurse practitioner. Thank goodness. But that means tomorrow morning I'm going to get to go sit in the doctor's office for an hour or so waiting to be seen. I'll probably take my knitting, and I'll knit for a while. It's a good opportunity to get something done. But my thought is what do you do? What do you do in an emergency? All of the bug out bag list, the disaster preparation list, say that you need to have a stock of your prescription medicines with you. In an emergency, you need to have if you have to leave the house for any period of time, you need to have your medications with you. Well, what do you do? How do you get them? How do you get them? How do you save up 2 weeks worth of medicine? The way the insurance companies are, you can't save up 2 weeks medicine. The doctors prescribe your medicine, they fill your medicine at the pharmacy, and you only have a few days window when you can fill it. So that is a problem. And so I got online and I started looking, and I found the AARP website, and it was telling you what to do. And one of the things it says is that if you have to leave your home and you are using a large pharmacy like Walgreens or CVC, any place in the country, all you have to do is call and they'll transfer your prescription. That's great. If say you live in the East and you had to evacuate for Hurricane Florence, and you go to a city a couple of 100 miles away, and it's large enough to have another Walgreens or a CVC, that's great. I get my prescriptions at a Fred's pharmacy, and Fred's is a large enough chain that if I went someplace, I probably would be able to refill my prescription. But what if something happened and I had to stay home? I live close enough to the New Madrid Fault where I probably would be affected by an earthquake from there. What else? What are some other situations? Tornado, yes. I live in Tornado Alley. We always have tornadoes. In fact, my house was damaged by a tornado not so many years ago, and there was another one that I had to leave the house, went to the courthouse. That is our only evacuation place. Hardly anybody has basements here. So if I had to leave the house, I better have something with me, because my house could be destroyed, and in that case there's a chance that the drugstore could be destroyed. Not only that, there are only 2 drugstores in this little bitty town. If the grid goes down, the chances are both of them are going to be out, so I'm not going to be able to get medications. So I will bug in. I live in a very, very rural area. Say that. Rural. I have a hard time saying that word. Rural area. The kind of place that people in cities would come to. So where would I go that's more rural than where I live? Not a whole lot of places. I can think of a couple of dirt roads where there may be some abandoned houses that I might be able to go to. And by age, it's kind of hard to think about that, though I could. So I found the CDC has a blog, and on the CDC blog there was a checklist of 10 things to do to stock your medicine cabinet in case of an emergency. And when it got to how to stock up on medicines, what it suggested doing was each month refill your prescription a few days in advance. So let's say, I don't know how many days in advance the not pharmacy, but the insurance companies will allow you to refill it. But whatever the maximum time is, go ahead and refill your prescription several days in advance. And then you can start taking your new medications, and whatever you have left over in your bottles, you can stock that up. And if you do that 2 or 3 times over 6 months or over a year, you'll have a big enough stock of medicines to last. I think that's a good idea. That's probably what I will continue to do, or what I will start doing, is instead of waiting like I did until the day before I had to refill my medicines, wait 3 or 4 days before. And over 6 months, and I saved, say 6 months, and I saved 4 days worth each time. That would be 24 days. So a little bit more than 3 weeks worth, just over 6 months period, if all I did was refill my prescriptions 4 days early. So if you have thought about that, that's what you do. And that's what I'm going to start doing. Bye, y'all. See you next time.